How's everybody doing? John Crawley here, psychic medium. Hope you guys are well tonight. I'm going to share this out to Patreon. We have an interesting class tonight, guys. So I think you guys are really going to get a lot from class tonight. I have some interesting things to talk about tonight. So when you get here, just let me know that you're here. Oh, frick. My phone's on dead here. So let me just go here for a minute. When you get here, let me know that you're here and say hello. Okay, so my phone's messing up. I wish I could get someone else to share this out, actually. So, low battery. So how's everybody doing tonight? So welcome to class, guys. So I want to go over some things with you guys and just kind of check in with everyone. And we're going to talk about a couple different things tonight. And there's quite a bit going on still, there's quite a bit going on. So a lot of people are feeling, they're feeling different. They're feeling like they're going through, people are feeling this energy. So let me just post this to Patreon for you guys, and then we'll get started with class tonight. Okay. So Patreon class, I'm a little early, which is unusual. But Patreon class link. Perfect. So now John Crawley is live. Welcome, everyone. So anyways, I want to go over, whenever you guys join in. Hi, Morgan. Nice to see you. Did you reschedule your appointment today, or was that my assistant? I saw something in the email there, and I wasn't sure if that was you or, hi, Rebecca. Nice to see you. Namaste. So anyways, guys, my phone's dead here. So can you just check and see if it's shared out to the Patreon? I wanted to go over some new tools tonight and talk a little bit about awareness. What's awareness actually mean? Hi, Don. Nice to see you. How are you? So what's awareness mean? So the word awareness was taught thousands of years ago. Okay. You rescheduled for it. So anyways, the word awareness is what you're aware of. So if the mind is aware of conflict, then what happens is you're in conflict. If the mind's aware of joy and happiness, then you're aware of happiness and joy. So why is that such an important thing? Why is the mind such an important role? I mean, we always talk about connecting the body. I mean, I've been talking about connecting the body for weeks and weeks and weeks. But the mind's also an important role in this, because if the mind affects how we feel, our mind has to be aware of something so that we can feel good. So I want to talk a little bit about that tonight, because what happens is whenever there's a power struggle in your life, what's happening is your mind's in a power struggle with your body. You're in a power struggle with yourself. So a lot of people believe that everybody else is doing it to them. They believe that, oh my God, it's my mom, it's my dad, it's this person, it's that person. But is that really the truth? What's the truth? The truth actually is that when you're not in conflict with yourself, then there's no conflict around you. So the tools that we discuss in class are life-changing. I've had, multiple clients over the years. I've had hundreds of clients, okay, in the past 5 years. I have people that have had life-changing stories from connecting back to the body. You want to build a personal relationship with your physical body. That's the key. But awareness is what you're aware of. If I'm aware of joy and happiness, if I'm aware of positive thoughts, then what am I going to experience? Can anybody answer that question? What's going to be my physical experience if I'm aware that all is well then what's going to be on the outside? Can anybody answer that question? Very simple question. It's a very simple answer to actually answer. So you're going to experience positivity. So the truth actually is that we create our own reality. So if I think that in my mind, if I believe that I'm lacking something, if I believe that I'm not good enough, then I'm believing something that's not real. Because if myself, if my body is divine, if divine and God lives inside of me, then how can that be possible? How could I be lacking anything at all? It may be that if we get into a power struggle, is it possible that we're unconscious to what actually is happening right now? What if something inside of us, what if something powerful, what if there's something so beautiful happening around us that we're not aware of? But we believe the mind. We let the mind take control of our life. That's the awareness of unconsciousness. Whenever we're in a power struggle with ourselves, it's because we believe the mind is greater or bigger or more powerful than what's inside of us. So how do we get out of this power struggle? How do we start really enjoying life? Because life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So this is the dance that we do. So typically, most cases, your thoughts that you're having about yourself are a waste of time. So whenever you have a thought that's negative about yourself, typically it could be the most ridiculous thought in the world. That's what you become aware of. So now, whenever you're aware of something that's negative in the mind, then what happens is those thoughts start taking over. So how do we eliminate those thoughts? How do we start coming back to ourselves to actually enjoy life again? So I want you guys to look at your mind. What's the mind occupy? What's it thinking about? What's my mind? What's some of the things that are happening right now in the mind? Look at the thoughts and just identify with the thoughts. Look at the thoughts and let them pass. Just like look at the thoughts. Don't react to the thoughts. Don't try to identify with the thoughts. That's what everybody does. They identify with the thoughts. They identify with the thoughts in the mind. So the only way we can get out of this power struggle is by not identifying, but allowing the mind to be present, allowing the mind to be the way it is, but to look at the thoughts and not letting the thoughts take over our mind, not letting it take over our life. So this could be a brother or sister that says something to you. You know, you can get a phone call from a family member, for example, and you allow that to bother you all day long. And then you finally decide to let it go 8 hours later. That's a choice. So that's what mastership is actually about. Mastership is about letting go of an experience that doesn't serve a purpose. Those experiences need to be present. You need to have those experiences because you would not grow if you did not have those experiences. So how do we get away from thoughts that are negative? You know, this is a good question I'm tying it here. How do we get out of thoughts that are negative? The tools that we discuss in class are life-changing. Hand to heart, breathe, allow, and notice. Keep connecting to the physical body. Tell your mind that you're not doing that. You don't want conflict. You can tell your body, tell your mind, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to beat myself out anymore. I'm not identifying with thoughts that don't serve a purpose anymore. I'm not going to do that. That's how simple this is. It's a choice. So if you choose if you choose to an experience of love, if you choose not to have those thoughts and you choose to let go of them, what are you choosing? What's going to happen in your life? You're going to start experiencing joy and happiness in your life every single day. So the mastership is in letting the mind be the way it is. Let the mind say whatever it wants to say. It doesn't mean anything. Thoughts are not in control. Don't let the thoughts take over. Thoughts are just part of the human consciousness. There's nothing wrong with thoughts. Allow the thoughts to be present. Allow yourself to be present with your body. What's true love? True love is when you're present with your physical body. You're connected to you, and you don't let anybody disconnect you from who you really are. So anybody can say anything. You know, they could say anything about you, or they can criticize you. They can do whatever they want to do, but you decide to stay connected to yourself. But knowing yourself beyond your physical body is when you really get to know who you really are. Right? So that's truly believing that your body is divine. Now let's talk about this a little bit more. What is divine? What does divine mean? The word divine. Can anybody answer that question? Because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of information for people. What does divine mean? The word divine, how do you understand that word, divine? So if I was to say to you, you're divine, your body is divine, you have divine inside of you. Divine is the energy that orchestrates to your body. Now, most people would say God. So the word God is a beautiful word. It's a beautiful, beautiful word. But it also means powerful. Now, God, and we talk about, you can talk about many, many different leaders and spiritual masters that have come on the planet. Now, I'm going to go back to Jesus, and I'm not Jesus, by the way. I don't take roles. So when Jesus was alive, right, I believe, right, that Jesus did not take any roles. He didn't want to be known as a powerful person. Jesus was a very humble man. Jesus was a very non-egotistical man. So Jesus did not want to use anything that made himself sound higher than anybody else. And you know why? And I'll give you the answer, and then you guys, this is just my own explanation of it. Why would I say that? What Jesus didn't want to be powerful, he didn't want to be known as being this powerful person. The reason why, I'm going to type it in here, is because of ego. The word ego. So type in the word ego. What does that word mean to you? So ego is when we have to make ourselves sound a certain way in order for people to believe that we're that great and wonderful. Now, someone that Jesus, that was that powerful, and I'm not like Jesus, I'm nowhere close to him. Don't ever think that. Do you honestly think that Jesus needed to say anything? He had nothing to say at all because he was pure love. Jesus had so much love in his heart. There was nothing to say. There was nothing to prove. So the word ego, there was nothing to say. So when we talk about the word divine in God, God is a beautiful thing. Divine is a beautiful thing. But how do we find out who we really are? It's a very interesting topic of discussion. The word ego. So if I don't put myself on a pedestal, if I don't have anything to prove to anyone, then do I really know myself? What's the answer? So if I don't have to say anything at all, if I truly know who I am on the inside, if I know who I am, if I know that I am love, then there's nothing to say. So all I'm saying is you are God. What I'm trying to say is that the word and divine and God are the same thing. It's the energy that orchestrates, I believe, it's the energy that orchestrates in our physical body. So that divine orchestration, which is non-physical, is connected to your physical body. It's also referred to in many modalities as stillness. The words stillness and love are the same thing. The word peace is the same thing as love. The word joy is the same thing as love. So my beliefs, and we all have different beliefs, but I believe, and this is my own theory, that if we eliminate this part, I'm going to type it in again. If we eliminate this part, the ego, then what happens is you start getting to know who you really are, because then if the ego has nothing, if your mind has nothing to prove or nothing to say, that is true confidence. That is true love. That's who you really are. So at that point, you have nothing to prove. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to say, because you don't separate yourself from anybody in humanity. Just because I'm a psychic medium and I'm teaching this class, I'm not separate from anybody. I believe that there's people that are not spiritual that are spiritually awakened. I met a guy today. He's not spiritual, but he's fully awakened to who he really is. He didn't need to become aware of spirituality in order to find himself. What is this actually about? This path that we're on, is it about getting to know ourselves? Because I often went to many different modalities to try to find the answer. I believe that we're here to find out who we are on the inside. Today, the word God and divine is who you really are. God and divine is inside of you. That's my belief. I'm only speaking through my experience, so you got to take what resonates and what doesn't resonate with you. This is just my own experience. Remember, I say that. You don't have to believe. What I tell people when they take classes, always go with what feels good to you. Okay, so take pieces and puzzles of the class and take what resonates with you the most. Okay, so if something I say doesn't resonate with you, that's completely fine, because it doesn't look the same for everyone. So ego is when we don't have to say anything. So that's the true awakening. The true awakening is when ego doesn't need to be present. What are some examples of ego? What are some examples? Can you guys type that out for me? Like some examples of what the ego mind would be presenting itself to feel better about itself. What are some examples of it? Oh, wait. Dying of heat tonight, guys. Hit me like a ton of bricks. This is even with the air condition on. It's been like so freaking hot. So what are some examples of that? What does ego mean? Like, what would be an example of something that someone would need in order to feel good about themselves? So being better than another person. So if driving fancy cars. So these are two good examples of what the ego may do. So if I'm in a social if I'm interacting with someone and I need to make myself feel better than someone, like Morgan just said, if I need to make myself feel important, that would be the ego. Because if you don't have to feel important, if there's nothing to try to feel important about, then that's what true love actually is. You have nothing to prove, nothing to say. That's the heart space. That's how we get there. So driving fancy cars, I like driving fancy cars, but I don't drive fancy cars to impress people. I like cars in general. It's just been a thing that I've always liked. You know what I mean? So my car, I like my car, but I'm not trying to, drive the car in order to show it off to other people. It's because I like the car. So there's nothing wrong with having things. There's nothing wrong with having material. But if you need to have the material to prove yourself to someone else or make yourself feel better about yourself, then that would be ego. That would be another description of what ego actually is, right? So that's what Don's explaining here, which is a beautiful, beautiful way to describe it, Don. So thank you so much for saying that, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people think that if they have a fancy car, if they have $1 million in the bank, that they're automatically going to find happiness. They think, okay, so if I'm this person that, drives fancy cars and I have, expensive things and all these things, that I'm going to be liked. I'm going to look like a hot shot, right? So that wouldn't be true love. That would be the ego trying to make the body feel better. And I'm going to get more into this, guys. I'm going to talk more about how the mind tries to make the body feel better. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes everybody does it because the body wants to feel good. So that's what the ego is actually about. So now we understand, okay, this is what the ego is doing. So that's what you would identify with. So my ego is now taking over. So when the ego takes over, now you can tell your ego that you don't want to do that anymore. So that's when the tools come in. So that's why the tools are so effective, because once you can identify with what your mind is doing, you can recognize that that's not who you are. That's not who you want to be. Because truth is outside of that. It's not in that. So that's where we find ourselves. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to eliminate the ego. So the ego is the conditioning, which I'm going to get more into, the conditioning of the mind. And sometimes I've done it before. I don't know when I'm even in the ego mind. So this is something we want to identify with. So when you're taking notes tonight, what's the mind actually doing? I don't want you to try to analyze the mind, but I want you to recognize your conditioning, because we all are conditioned a different way. We're not all the same. So what I did was I recognized, okay, so this, whenever ego showed up for me, I didn't try to analyze it, but I recognized, okay, this was my ego. I saw what my mind was doing, and then I was able to move away from it. So tonight, I want you guys to recognize that that's all part of the awakening. And when you see who you are not, you start finding out who you actually are. So it's a very interesting topic, isn't it? So tonight's class, I want you guys to do some homework this week. I want you guys to focus on when your ego takes over. I want you to identify when the ego is present, and I want you to put your hand on your heart and breathe, okay? So let's do that now. So what I want you guys to do is just find a comfortable place. My energy is very high tonight. A comfortable place where you're sitting. And I want you guys to put your hand on your heart, okay? and just breathe. That's all you have to do is breathe. And just notice the hand. Notice the hand on your heart. Notice the fingertips. Notice the arms. Notice the fingertips again. So we want to focus on the body, okay? So move into the body. Feel the body, feel the legs, feel the toes. Breathe, allow, and notice the hand. Breathe, allow, and notice the back. Breathe, allow, and notice the shoulders. Breathe, allow, and notice the arms. Breathe, allow, and notice the fingertips. Breathe, allow, and notice the stomach. Breathe, allow, and notice the legs. Feel your toes. Feel underneath your feet. Breathe, allow, and notice. And just say to the body, I love you. Unconditionally. Look at your body and say, I love you. I hear you, I feel you, and show me the way. And then breathe, allow, and notice the hand again. Breathe, allow, and notice the legs. Breathe, allow, and notice the arms. Now, I want you guys to now type in, is your mind occupying space right now? Is it thinking about anything negative when you do that tool? Is your mind saying anything negative at all? And what's the answer? The answer will be no. Why is that? So why are the tools so freaking effective? Because this part, the ego, dissolves from using the tools. So that's why the tools are so important. I keep stressing this in every class, to do the tools. Practice the breathing, allowing, and noticing. Practice the hand to heart technique. Because once you get that down, once you master the body scan, you will start feeling better about yourself. And there's going to be progress every single time you master the body scan. There's more there's more and more things that are going to happen in your life that you're going to be happy with. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to focus on. Okay, I want you guys to focus on the body scan and keep using the body scan over and over again until you finally get it. And then when your mind goes into the ego part, you just come back to the body scan. There will be a point in time where you feel so connected to yourself that you'll know exactly what to do every single time. So remember, the body scan, it takes time, but we keep going to the heart. We put our hand on our heart and breathe, and we go to the shoulders, we go to the arms, we go to the hands, we go to the legs, we go to the feet. We want to feel the whole body. And that's where true happiness is actually found. It's found when we connect to the body. Because at that point, when you connect back to the body, you don't really care about what the mind's actually doing anymore. So that's what I wanted to discuss tonight. So I want you guys to come back to the video and see that you are divine. The whole question, the whole reason why I had this conversation tonight is to tell you guys that divine lives within you. God and divine are the same thing. God and divine is orchestrating perfectly in your body. That's what God is. I believe God is inside of us. So how do we get, and then the ego part, don't even think about what the ego is doing. Just come and do the body scan. You will find out who you are through time. There will be a point in time where you truly know yourself beyond your physical mind. Okay, so thank you guys so much tonight. How did you enjoy class? Just type it in. And this is ridiculous because like this summer has been, for this room, like it's been so freaking hot in here. Like, and I have the air condition on all the time, and I love this room. You know, I always work in this room, but I want you to tell me your true opinion of how class went tonight, how it helps you. Because each time you come to class, you should, you know, if you're doing the tools and you're practicing certain things, you will start feeling better about yourself over time. And who knows, by the winter time, or, you know, by October, November, you know, you might be, you know, Morgan Brackett has come such a long way. You're on every single class. Every single class you're here. And I know you're going to wake up to the truth. You know, Divine told me that, and I know Don's and everybody that joins class, they're all doing a fantastic job, and you guys are doing great. Everything that you guys are doing, it's absolutely beautiful. You know, the more work you put into this, the better things get. It's worth putting the work in. Because at the end of the day, if the work is done, you will find out who you really are. So body scan, hand to heart, breathe, allow, and notice. Breathe, allow, and notice the hands. Keep doing this over and over again. So I want to thank everybody. You guys are doing fantastic. I can't see the comments on Patreon because my phone's dead tonight. But I just wanted to say to you guys that I'm very proud of everybody on Patreon and all the great work that you guys are doing. And, you know, keep doing it, guys. I'm telling you, there's a payoff in this. And we'll see you guys back. I was going to do a spirit message tonight, but I don't typically like to do spirit messages when I do classes. So I'm probably going to do one probably within the next day or so. There's not a lot of people. Like it's not because of the amount of people, but, you know, we gave away a free reading last week as well. But I really like the classes. I like doing the work. I like talking about my experience. And I don't know it all. You know, I don't want people to think that I know what I'm talking about and I know everything, because that's not true. All I'm doing, guys, is speaking through my own experience. That's it. You know, I don't know it all. I had a pretty difficult life, though. You know, I didn't always have it easy. So, and a lot of people didn't have it easy. And I'm telling you guys, these tools have helped me so much through my life. In the last 4 or 5 years, I was able to create a business that was successful. I was able to do things that I didn't even think were possible. And that was all because Divine guided me. So I have a lot to say. You know, I was a guy that, you know, you know, when I was 18 years old, 20 years old, you know, I was into partying, and I don't look like a partier. You know, if you looked at me, you know, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. But in my early 20s, you know, for many, many years, you know, I was off track. I was, you know, I was into all kinds of things. And I decided, you know, when I got to a certain age, it was about 3-4 years ago, where I started making big changes. And Divine showed me these tools. And I'm seeing the change in you guys. I'm seeing the change in myself. And then people are coming back to me and they're like, you know what? I feel good about myself, John. There's something to what you're talking about. You're definitely doing something. There's something to what you're talking about. And I guarantee you, I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal, but these tools are going to be used. These tools, I guarantee this program, if we look out 3-4 years, it's going to be talked about all around the world. Guaranteed. I predicted it. It's not to prove, and it's not going to be me talking about it. It's going to be you guys. It's going to be you guys that are coming to class because you're going to be helping other people develop their intuition and their inner knowledge because you did the work yourself. Isn't that such a beautiful thing? That we've created a community where we can help people, where we can help ourselves, and then we can help others. Because that's what we're doing. This is the real thing. I've spent thousands of dollars on program after program after program. All these different modalities. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I spent over $100,000 to find out what the truth actually was. This actually works. It's worth it because you can feel what I'm talking about. The body does not lie. So if the body resonates with what we're talking about here, it's the real thing. The body never lies. And you're going to be doing the same thing. Don and Morgan and whoever else is here. You're going to be teaching other people this as well, whether you do it on Patreon or, a friend needs help with something. You teach them the tools and eventually they wake up and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe how good I feel. So what a beautiful thing. Because it's not done. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. That's not true. It's not about how much experience you have. That means nothing to me because someone can come to class and start using the tools and really start helping other people. That's why I want to train you guys in this. That's why we have this class. So you guys are spreading the word. So you guys are helping other people that need the help. And this really does help. So don't think that, I need to do more work on myself or, I need to wait a couple more years in order to help someone with these tools. No, you don't need that. If you're doing the tools, you're using the tools, don't feel like you have to wait in order to share the tools with someone else. You don't need to do that. There is no time. There is no time to do it. There's no perfect time to do anything in life. You do it when you're comfortable doing it. And that's with everything in your life. Everything that you experience in life, everybody does this. They say, I have to go to school for 5 years, and then I have to do this for 5 years in order to get here. That's a lie. You guys have been doing the work the whole freaking time. You know who you are. All I'm doing is giving you a couple tools to work with. You're doing the work on your own. You've been doing it your whole life. Your whole life was part of your awakening. Isn't this such a beautiful thing where we can come together collectively and share our experiences? I would love to go live with one of you guys. I would love to do an event with one of you guys just to explain how you feel when you're doing the tools. Just tell your story. Feel free to email me anytime you want. Email me, and I'd love for you to tell your story about how you feel and some of your life story. Email us, and I'll get with you. I'll have a phone conversation with you. So anyways, guys, that's class for tonight. I value you guys 100%. I'm going to come on, do some readings probably tomorrow or the next night. I just want to say I'm very proud of everyone here. You guys have done a fantastic job. Okay, every single one of you guys. I'm not teaching you anything. All I'm doing is holding space for you. I'm teaching you the tools, but you're doing the work on your own. I'm not healing anybody here. You're doing the work. So thank you so much, guys. I'm going to get off here. Namaste. You guys have a beautiful evening, and I look forward to this community growing, and I do believe that this community is going to grow very large. in the next year or so. And I'm very proud that you guys are on board with this. And I do want you guys to do this, you know, to engage and help others. And I would like to do a public event eventually where I have you guys there too, or, you know, we do some public speaking on how this transforms lives. Because I'm planning to do that next year. I'm planning, you know, I'm putting a business plan together so I can reach out to more people to give them the tools to teach them how I navigated through certain things. So anyways, guys, thank you so much. Beautiful lights. Love you unconditionally. And we'll see you guys soon. All right. Goodbye.